Good morning. I hope you've got your cup of coffee, 'cause I sure do. Friends! Hello! Welcome back to Amethyst Craftworks. I'm Samantha. Cheers to you today on this Wednesday morning. Hello. How are you? Good morning to you. I hope you're doing good today. I'm waking up, so cheers to that with an extra sip from my Cruella mug. But hello, how are you? I hope things are going well for you. Things are busy in Amethyst Craftworks land, but skipping weeks aside that we're not going to talk about, I have got a Movie Marquee challenge update for you today that I'm very proud to show off for you. And I've also got some other things to chit chat with you about. You know the drill. By this point, you know. But in case you don't, let me just tell you real fast here. The Movie Marquee Challenge, this challenge that I am talking about today, is hosted by Bella from Bella's Crochet Gifts, Heather the Crochet Witch, and me. The three of us are taking turns picking movies each month. And then the whole project is, the whole challenge is, the whole year-long challenge is, we're all making a thing, taking inspiration from that movie's poster in that month, pulling colors, pulling inspiration to inspire a thing, whether that's a full project that you complete every month, a small one, a big one, whatever you want, or in my case, doing bits and pieces of a much larger project that'll be completed at the very end of the year. I think that's probably the fastest that I have ever gone through the Movie Marquee Challenge explanation here. There will be links down below to all sorts of stuff if you're curious. If you want to check out Heather or Bella's channels, if you're not familiar with them, which I find it hard to believe if you are here on my channel if you are not yet familiar with Heather or Bella. And yeah, I'm just gonna grab my project bag here, and then we are going to discuss my actual update for the end of January and then the beginning of February. So I've got my good old project bag. This was with me all year last year. It is going to be with me all year this year as well in 2024. And the first thing that I'm gonna pull out of here is the completed section of January's work. My project for the year is a blanket, and each month I'm doing X number of rows in the colors from that movie's poster in a specific stitch, and then each month at the end I'm putting some black in between, and then the next month gets its own colors, its own stitch pattern, so on and so forth. Kind of like I'm thinking of it more of like a stitch sampler kind of blanket. A little bit of practice for me for new stitches, old stitches I like, stitches I haven't worked with in a blanket, so on and so forth. And, combining it with the Movie Marquee Challenge to use colors that I may not have picked on my own. Because if you are familiar with me, my channel, my crochet likes and dislikes, then you know I kind of gravitate towards the same palette of colors all the time. But not here. So this is a very long blanket beginning. It is 210 stitches long, which is a number that is easily divisible by 2 and 3. And the reason I picked that was to sort of open up my options for stitch patterns as much as I could. And so the first month I did, which way have I designated? Okay, so this is the front because of this little stitch marker down here. This was the first month, which was the granny stitch. in colors for Rock of Ages. I picked 7 colors out of that movie's poster and then ended up working 10 rows. And so I doubled up on the aqua, which in my last update for the Movie Marquee, I said how much I love. I am for sure brainstorming like a cardigan or a sweater or something that's like this aqua color striped with black and white. But that's neither here nor there. So I did an extra of the aqua, the purple, and then the green because, as I mentioned, I gravitate towards the same sort of colors all the time. So you know I had to work a little extra in. But this is completed. In fact, other than my starting tail here with the black, and then the end tail here with the black on the first round, all my ends are woven in on both ends. You know, I've still got some tails for the black, but it's mostly so I can tell where I start, where I stop. You get it, right? But all the other colorful yarns are all woven in, and I love it. To be perfectly honest, I love this kind of look, this like scrappy, random rainbow, but it's not rainbow order, like bright colors, neon colors, in between sections of black that you can't even see because, of course, I'm also wearing black. There, you can kind of see it a little bit on Mr. Cobb Vance's face, but like this is my sort of color palette-ish, where I love bright, neon, vibrant colors intermingled with black. It reminds me a lot of like neon lights or like black lights, you know, that sort of 80s and 90s like cosmic bowling kind of feel. That's what this is sort of giving me. And I really like it. I think it turned out awesome. I think the granny stitch was a good choice to start with. And the fact that each row looks different, each row is a different color. I love this kind of scrappy look. And so I'm excited that the start of this project looks like this, because I have a feeling it's just going to continue on as the months go, right? But speaking of the months as they go, we are currently in February, and I may be a little late here on the reveal. It's no longer a reveal, but the month of February was Bella's pick, and she picked Down with Love. Now, I will be honest with you. I am not at all familiar with this movie. I don't think I've ever seen it. I don't think I've ever even heard of it. But I will say, in case you can't tell, you know, Cobb Vanth, he's from the Star Wars universe. He's from The Mandalorian and the Book of Boba Fett, but it's neither here nor there. So Cobb Vanth is Star Wars, and Ewan McGregor, who is in this movie, is also in Star Wars. We love Obi-Wan Kenobi, although the Disney Plus series we don't love, but Star Wars babbling aside, this movie I wasn't aware of, and I was very surprised because, as I said, I love Ewan McGregor, so I'm going to have to find it. I'm going to have to look it up. Maybe Amazon has it to rent, or maybe it's streaming on one of the various streaming services. If you know, if you're familiar with the movie, if you've seen it, if you watched it because of Bella, leave me a comment. Let me know where you watched it. I may have to try to find it to rent or, you know, something, because, yeah, I have never seen it. But let me fold this up, because while I may not have ever seen this movie, I will say it is kind of fitting, at least from just a cursory estimation given the title of the movie, Down with Love, that this is maybe some sort of rom-com. Maybe not a complete, like, mushy-gushy rom-com, since it's called Down with Love, but quite a fitting, maybe, movie for Halloween, for Valentine's Day month. But I will say in the poster, those colors are chef's kiss. Again, there's a lot of white, but there's bright, vibrant colors in there that I quite like myself. And so let me show you the color palette that I picked out to work from the poster over there. Hold on, let me grab it here. Now I will say, these first 2 months have similarities in them in terms of colors, because a couple of the colors that I have picked here repeat. So this is Big Choice Value in Grape. This is also in January. Let me wind up the tail here. But this purple, this dark purple, was in January. And I'm not mad at the fact that there might be colors that sort of move through the months, other than the black, of course. It might help tie it all together while still looking crazy and scrappy, you know what I mean? But I've got purple because, of course, I zeroed in on the purple, right? I've also got a little bit left of the hot pink that was also in January Square. This is Craft Smart from Michaels, which to be perfectly honest with you, I don't know if Craft Smart even exists anymore. I think, did Michaels change it? I know they rebranded some of the Craft Smart colors to be Loops and Threads Soft Classic or something. I think I've got one of these neon greens here is a Soft Classic. And I think the neon specific Craft Smart colors were rebranded. Really, it doesn't matter because this is all I've got left. So this is probably maybe one row of hot pink. But hot pink is in Renee Zellweger's skirt and in the text and stuff, so I put it in. Then we've got yellow. This is not my good old Karen Simply Soft in gold. This is a different yellow. I thought some colors could translate between the months, but then other colors, maybe I would switch it up when I could. So this is Varsity Yellow from Big Twist Value. I've got, these are all, let me warn you here, these are all floppy skeins or scraps. I'm trying to use up scrap yarn, partially used skeins, that kind of thing. I've got a big box of skeins like this, where they're too big to really wind into a ball, but it's not a full skein. It's not even like a half a skein. It's just this skein, right? So yellow, Varsity Yellow from Big Twist Value, going in. Excuse me, hold on. There we go. Needed a sip of coffee. My throat, you don't care. Anyway, on to the next color, which is white. This is just white from Red Heart Super Saver instead this time. There is a lot of white, and the whole background of the poster is white. Renee Zellweger's top is white. There's a lot of white, so I thought having white as a color in the color palette was a smart choice. And then I've got two colors left. And they're both surprise, surprise, Big Twist Value. So I've got Forest Green and then Varsity Navy with, again, a floppy end, a floppy tail. And these colors, these specifically, these three together, which I know, there you can kind of see them a bit better. These together, I love it. I absolutely love it. But then you add in the white and the yellow, which are not colors that I would genuinely combine with these. And then wait, can I somehow hold them all up? There you go. So this is my full February palette. And this is absolutely not a color combination that I would have ever put together myself. Some of it, yes, the purple, the green, and the dark blue, yeah, for sure, I would have put those colors together. But with the yellow and the white and the hot pink, not really. And so I'm super excited to combine these all together. Oh man, can I do it? I also think it will look, this is like impossible. I think it would also look pretty cool as the second stripe, the second set of stitches in my blanket for February. And so all in all, chaos. Things are falling and, oh man, hold on. Let me put these down. There we go. So I'm all in all, I'm most pleased with the movie selection for February, as well as the color palette that I came up with. And the last thing is the crochet stitch dictionary that I'm using for inspo for the different stitches that I'm doing every single month for my stitch sampler blanket, movie stitch sampler blanket. I'm thinking, now can I find it while I'm babbling here? Maybe. Let's see. Where would it be under? I did say I would look while I'm babbling. Anyway, while I do look here, I was thinking of doing the linen stitch for February, and it is in here somewhere. I've heard it called the moss stitch as well, but the moss stitch that's in this book is different than the moss stitch when it comes to the linen stitch. Does that make any sense? It's a different stitch pattern, and I know it's in here somewhere. Or do I? Do I even know? It's here. I should have looked it up. But anyway, you guys, I'm sure if you are familiar with crochet, you know what I'm talking about. The linen stitch, the moss stitch, I'm sure there are other names for it too, but it is just single crochet, chain one, single crochet, chain one, and then the next row you put your single crochets and the chain ones, and then you chain one, right, along. It works up, in my opinion, fabulous when it comes to, oh no, wait. Oh, slip stitch. Oh, so the moss stitch in this book is with half double crochets and then a slip stitch in between. That's not what I'm wanting. But boy, did I get real distracted there. Whoa. Oh, so the actual linen stitch, the single chain version of this stitch that I'm talking about. I think it looks excellent when it's different colored stripes going back and forth. I think it works up beautifully in different colors for each row, which is exactly what this is going to be. And I also thought doing a variation on double crochets for the first month, and then half double in the middle, and then single for February, and then half double again, and then maybe half double for March, and so on and so forth, right? Like, I thought doing different heights of stitches might also be a fun thing. And so I think with the linen stitch, the moss stitch, I'm going to do one round each of each color, and that's it. I'm going for a shorter stripe this time. Because, even though February does have, we are in a leap year, we do have an extra day in February. It is the shortest month, so short stitch, short month, and that's kind of what I'm feeling, so that's what I'm gonna do. I swear, though, this is really gonna bug me. I've got to find it somewhere in here. I suppose I will, and then come back and show ya. Who knows, man? It might not even be in here. There is a tutorial that I myself have used previously from Hooked by Robin And so when I get there, I can also link you to that too if you don't have this book handy. I can also link you to the Amazon listing for this book. It's by Sarah Hazell. It is the reference book that I'm using for the Movie Marquee. And yes, other than struggling to find the stitch that I wanted out of there, I am completely done babbling here at ya. What do you think of my January? I keep wanting to say square since I did granny squares last year. And I did granny squares the previous year as well. I did granny squares in 2022 too. But this time we are not doing granny squares, we are doing sections. We are doing sets of stitches and numbered rows and so on and so forth in a big old blanket. So what do you think about my January section? Do you like how it turned out? I think it's super fun. I also think this would have been just like the most fabulous scarf, but that's absolutely not what I'm doing. So anyway, after all that, thank you for joining me here for the Movie Marquee. I hope you're having a great Wednesday. I hope you have a great rest of your week. I'm going to try my best to be back for Friday Fun Day, but if I'm not, I will just see you in my next video. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I will catch you next time. Take care. Goodbye.